In my last travel video, I left you while driving from Key West to Florida's mainland. Now I'm in Seattle, the extreme opposite corner of the United States. This episode tells how I got here. Once on the mainland of Florida, I headed to Everglades National Park, where I camped for the night. The park has an interesting visitor center where I enjoyed watching a video about the Everglades.
Spectacular natural and cultural treasure. All created by water, all linked by water, and all in every South Floridian's backyard.
Next time, I'm going to stay longer to hike along one of their many trails. Soon I was back in Sarasota. Will and Mingie Brown had invited a group of Woodstock School friends for a mini reunion. Mingie cooked and served a really delicious Indian dinner. During the evening, we learned the easy way to make chapatis using the amazing Roti Matic, purchased by Hank Lacey. Roti means bread. Chapati is an Indian flatbread popular where I grew up in India. Because the next Nomads team serving at Cornerstone Ministries in Tampa, where I had just served for 3 weeks, was short-handed, I volunteered for another week and made some new amazing Nomads friends. Before heading north, I enjoyed a visit with the other Max Marble. Max is the son of my late cousin Ed Marble and his wife Tina. I believe this makes him my first cousin once removed. I had to Google that relationship. The next day, I met classmate from India, Ruth Robinson Tourville, and her daughter and grandson for lunch at an Indian restaurant in Orange City, Florida. I spent that night in the parking lot outside the retirement center for Roberta Jones and her sister. I followed Roberta when I served as the executive director of the U.S. Louisiana Christian Medical College Board. I enjoyed spending most of the next day in Savannah, Georgia. I love watching the ocean-going ships come down the river and out to sea. I rode back and forth across the river on Savannah's free ferry boat. I had lunch at one of the many good restaurants along the river. Next, I drove to Hilton Head, South Carolina for a visit with my cousin Bill and Susie Knight. Bill was my father's sister, Maxine's son. I remembered the many lovely visits to Hilton Head Island when my daughter Laura was writing for the Island Packet, Hilton Head's newspaper. The camellia garden that we visited was showing off its abundant, beautiful camellia blossoms. I told Bill I would like to photograph some shrimp boats. A much larger fleet had dwindled down to 2 remaining shrimp boats, but they were beauties. I returned the next day for lunch where the shrimp boats docked. Henry's blind had broken the day before. To my delight, Bill used some of his tools and fixed it. Before heading on, we paid a visit to Bill and Susie's sailboat, stirring my interest in sailing on one of these someday. Then on to Dooley Campground for my next Nomads project, which was in Vienna, Georgia. I posted a full video about the 3 weeks I spent on this project. To watch that video, click the link in the comments below or on the thumbnail link at the end of this video. After learning that Betty, my 97-year-old mother-in-law, was due to have a valve replaced in her heart, I left the project 2 days early in order to be in Missouri for the surgery and to be there for Bill, her husband. We were so very thankful that the surgery at the University of Missouri Medical Center went well. She was transferred to post-acute for several weeks of physical therapy. Bill and I watched a recording of grandson Neil's band concert. After staying with Bill a couple of days, and after a few more visits with Betty, I was back on the road headed to Colorado. On my way to the Walmart parking lot in Hays, Kansas for the night, I stopped at nearby Victoria to see the Basilica of St. Fidelis. The nickname Cathedral of the Plains was bestowed on the basilica when President William Jennings Bryan visited in 1912. On the campus of Fort Hays University, there is a buffalo herd that I most always visit. It is made interesting not only by the fine buffalo herd, but also because of their one albino buffalo. After a good Walmart parking lot of sleep, I was on the road to Longmont, Colorado, where I had 3 doctor's appointments lined up. One was for my cramping and hurting hands, one for my hurting left knee, and the other a routine follow-up on the implants from a year before. It was lunchtime when I reached the Denver area. I Googled close Indian restaurants. I had never heard of Yak and Yeti. The food was good, and I must sometime get one of their t-shirts. In Longmont, I got in on one of my grandson's swimming meets. He is a very good and accomplished swimmer. On the last evening, I went with my daughter Laura and son Andy to Nederland, where we greatly enjoyed listening to the music of Jeannie, a wonderful songwriter and friend of Laura. I did not have time to get up to our cabin in the mountains on this short visit to Longmont. Part of the reason is there is a lot of snow up there. It was Alaskan Airlines rather than Henry bringing me to Seattle this time. A visit with classmate Marlon and Jeannie is always special, and not only because they are both amazing cooks and because of the amazing food preparation. While they visit their grandchildren in London, I will care for their 2 precious toy poodles, Lulu and Coco. I posted a whole video about them when I was here pet sitting before. You can view it by clicking on the link in the comments below or on the thumbnail link at the end of this video. Well, that's about it for this video. It has brought me a long ways from Key West, Florida. Thanks for watching. I really love producing these videos and sharing them with you.